Let's get down to business to defeat your mum. Hi, my name's Jonny, and today we are checking out the Callan from Vintage. Callan. I'm not too sure how to pronounce this bass. They are my favourite kinds. But essentially what we've got here is a £400 all mahogany short scale bass with some tricks up its sleeve. Vintage are a UK brand that make affordable kind of versions of other guitars, much like lots of other brands do. But what I like about Vintage, as well as being British, what I like about Vintage is that they sometimes remake things that aren't so popular, aren't just another P or another J. My friend Danny Higgins showed me this Ibanez bass over on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure, that this is inspired by one of those vintage basses. And I don't know about you, but I actually think it kind of looks a bit better, with some features missing from that original bass. Before we go anywhere, I do want to say that Vintage have sent me this to check out today, but they haven't paid me to say anything or anything like that, so all thoughts and sounds are my own. Starting off the top, we've got a vintage style headstock with Wilkinson tuners. Wilkinson hardware is standard across all vintage instruments, and I think they're really good for this price point. We've got a Jatoba fretboard, so not like Laurel or anything like that. It's got a nice rosiness to it. Beautiful kind of satin finish neck. It is really, really nice to play, and there are absolutely zero sprouting fret edges. It's, feels really nice. If we flip it over onto the back, you will see that this is actually a set neck, so it's glued within the body, and that helps it kind of resonate throughout. What also helps is the fact that this is a string through, and that is something that I've come to really, really appreciate on short scales. You actually get a little bit more tension in the strings when you're putting them through the body. I love this bridge, look at it. It's not just screwed into the bridge, there's actually a hole where the bridge sits into it. So we can still have these massive saddles, but also have a low action. Now for a bass at this price point, you might be expecting a few things to not be so good, like switches and knobs, but this feels really high quality. In fact, that might be the best feeling switch on an affordable bass I've ever felt. Do you know what? I just compared it to my Fender Strat, and that is nicer. Electronics wise, we have got these Allen Entwistle designed pickups, this huge mudbucker style large humbucker in the neck position, then a mini humbucker in the bridge. Now the size difference of the pickups make it look like it's pulling a bit of a face, like kind of like this or like this. Now, some things that aren't maybe so good, I don't think the input is that high quality. It's come loose very quickly. Not sure if you'll be able to see this, but where the nut is cut, it's not the tidiest. I don't know why it says Revo. I'd rather it was like Revo Series Callan or something different on there, but whatever. It is fairly heavy. For a short scale bass, it comes in at 8.8 pounds, which feels quite hefty, but because it's all mahogany, the kind of benefits of that brings this drawback of being slightly on the heavier side. There's a little bit of neck dive, but it's not crazy. I've got quite a grippy strap on, a little bit notes. But enough about that, let's have a listen to what this thing can do. We're going to be listening to this through the Line 6 HX Stomp with a Gallion Kruger head, the Ampeg SVT 8x10 cab sim. But first of all, I'm going to turn it off so we can just listen to the DI tone. Just the bridge pickup with the tone all the way up. Let's start rolling the tone off on this bridge pickup. This is it halfway. This bridge pickup is very nice. I think it's got that really nice, like, pokey nasal nature to it that isn't too harsh like some bridge position pickups like this. It's making me discover that I actually really like mini humbuckers in the bridge. Can kind of hear a bit of buzz there. Does need a bit of a setup out of the box, I think. Plays nicely, like it plays fine, but it is a bit buzzy in terms of sound. Now let's hear the neck pickup with the DI. It almost sounds like a semi-hollow or something. Now let's hear both pickups together. When you combine two pickups together like this, it naturally kind of creates a bit more of a mid-scoop. It's a bit more modern sounding like that, so let's hear what it sounds like with the cab sim on. Now let's go back to just the bridge. You kind of hear there is a big volume difference between the pickups. It's a strange bass to play this because I'm kind of using these two fingers instead of these two fingers to play fingerstyle. And that's because of where my kind of arm is sitting. It's a bit uncomfortable to do this. And so I'm kind of leaning back and doing this a bit more. I think that's honestly to do with this top horn though, because when I'm playing like this, I naturally bring the bass up a bit and it hits my ribs a little bit there. Where my breast sits, it's just in here where I kind of move my hand backwards naturally. I think that's why I'm drawn to that bridge pickup with the tone kind of mostly rolled off. Okay, now let's hear what this thing can do with some effects on it. This is the Obsidian Drive, which is the dark glass clone in the HX Stomp. Both pickups now. Sounds really good with drive, this bass. Something that I wasn't sure if I was expecting based on the kind of vintage vibe, but sometimes when you combine vintage and modern, things just work. I will say, because this pickup is so big and deep and bassy, it kind of turns the distortion into more of like a fuzz-like sound, so let's hear what a more fuzzy sound sounds like. This is the Big Muff clone in the HX Stomp, sticking on this neck pickup. So there we go. Overall, I think for £400, you're getting a really cool and unique short scale that if you can get the tones you want out of it, if those are the tones you want, it's great. Some of the sounds in the bass I think aren't particularly useful. It's definitely not good for all genres, and like it's not like a P bass where it's good, kind of good for everything. It's definitely got a specific sound and a specific application. If that's what you're looking for, fantastic. If it's not, I wouldn't recommend getting this as like your only bass, you know, to cover everything, unless that is what you're doing. Well, would I recommend picking it up at all? Yeah, I would. I think it's really cool. The build quality is really, really good, despite some little bits laying it down. The biggest letdown about this bass is the setup out of the box, though. It's just a little bit buzzy, but thank goodness they resisted the temptation to put a 3-point bridge on here instead. It means that you can do better setups with a bridge like this, so I would recommend getting it set up once you get it out of the box. So there we go. Again, let me know down below what you think about this bass and whether you're going to pick one up for yourself. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.